Hi Pisces, welcome to your September 2020 Astrology 33 reading. Thanks to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in a book of person reading with me, I'm actually going to be taking a bit of a break from those, probably at least for the next month, but if I do decide to change my mind, I'll just make an update in the community section of the channel. As far as what we have in front of us, we have a Celtic cross spread as always, and I also pulled a couple of oracle cards and a mudra card for you, so get started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the King of Cups, which is Scorpio energy, but obviously it could represent you since you guys are also water signs, and there's a fish in the background too. And then we have the Five of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy. So combining these two together, especially since this technically is Scorpio energy, with the Two of Pentacles energy, could just be saying that there's someone that you've been in a relationship with that maybe you're not communicating with them. The reason I say communicating in particular is because for you guys, Taurus is your third house of communication, and actually Uranus is going to be going retrograde. Actually, it just started going retrograde in these same degrees of Taurus, so that's what I'm seeing there. It could just be one of those things where either you or possibly even both of you are just closed off when it comes to your emotions, and maybe on the surface making it seem like everything's perfectly fine, right? But underneath the surface, there's a lot of disappointment around the fact that the two of you are on the outs right now. And some of you, of course, could be dealing with a Scorpio too. All right, in the challenge or obstacle position, we have the Page of Swords. So to me, this is another thing that represents that there's probably that desire to communicate, but I don't think either of you are doing it just yet, given that this is in a challenge position. And as far as why that might be the case, I feel like there's a little bit of nervousness around the communicating. And if there is any communication, I feel like for the majority of you, it would be over social media. The reason why I say that with this card, those trees in the background always remind me of the Facebook logo. So I feel like this would definitely be more of a communication through social media as opposed to flat out, calling you or showing up at your place or whatever, So that's what I see there. In the foundation position, we have Justice. So this is the major arcana card for Libra. So to me, this does show that there is a good chance that balance will be restored. And what's interesting to me is that the Page of Swords is looking down at the Justice card if we look at their position in the spread. So I feel like whoever was the one who may have, I don't want to necessarily say caused the separation, but whoever kind of knows that it would be on them to reach out and communicate first, I feel like they're aware of that, but it's just that there is some nervousness there. But seeing this in the foundation position, I would say for most of you, you probably will be hearing from that person this month, or if you're the one who has to reach out, you might do so. In the past position, we have the High Priestess. So this is actually the major arcana card, well, one of the major arcana cards that for me point to your sign. And seeing this come up in the past position, though, I feel like this is another thing pointing to no communication, right? So either you or they might feel like, maybe you saw something or heard something or just intuitively felt something that might have cut you off from communicating, but you didn't flat out confront the person about what it was, or they you. That's what I'm seeing there. In the present position, we have the Fool. So the Fool represents a new start. So I feel like this is saying that you or the other person might actually just decide to avoid the situation altogether and just go out on a new path altogether. But with the Judgment card in the near future position, I feel like that might not work. So it might be one of those temporary things that, you might, either you or they might just decide, you know what, I don't even need this, whatever, I'm just going to move on, right? And then in the near future, you guys might come back around to it. But I see at the very least that there's that urge for a new start. In the near future position, we have Judgment. So this is actually, to me, another indicator of Scorpio energy. I view this as the rebirth side of the Scorpio energy. And of course, obviously, this looks like something coming back around again. Now, I do have to say, for those of you where, if this is around a legal situation as well, especially if it's a custody thing, it looks like the female in the situation might be favored, but that's what I see with that. But yeah, either way, this looks like something coming back around from the past that was unresolved, and now you actually get the opportunity to resolve it in a more positive way. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Star in reverse. So this is actually the major arcana card for Aquarius, and given that that's your 12th house, which is the house you guys would naturally rule, I feel like this is saying that in your mind you just kind of lost hope on the situation, you know? Feel like there's that lack of desire to be open and vulnerable, right? Which we could see there with this in the upright. So I feel like you're just kind of losing hope in the situation altogether. And again, I'm not necessarily feeling that energy of moving on, but just feeling like, all right, well, it is what it is at this point, you know? In the environment position, we have the Five of Swords. So this is actually more Aquarius energy here. And this usually represents those types of petty arguments where you go into the conversation knowing that that's how it's going to turn out and that nothing positive is going to come out of it, but yet you still engage in it anyway. So, you know, this might be the other person in the situation, or it could be you. It could work out either way in the environment, but I will say just be on the lookout for that energy. Like I said, you're going to have Uranus going retrograde, and well, it just started its retrograde in your third house, communication. So that could add to that factor as well. But I think that full moon in your sign, which is pretty early on in September, is actually going to be in a supportive aspect to Uranus. So you guys might be able to work through this. But yeah, it looks like one person, if they're not quite over the situation yet, they might just react in a negative way when you guys do discuss things together. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So this is actually Virgo energy here, the middle 10 degrees of Virgo. And that's actually around the time when we're going to have that full moon in your sign too. So for some of you, this could just be saying that you are hoping to be single. But I feel like more than anything, I feel like for the majority of you, if you are already split from this person, this is saying more than just being single, but actually being able to enjoy being single, right? So for example, I feel like if you are split from this person right now, I don't think you're happy about it necessarily. So again, this could be, especially given that we see the same color with the Fool card, this is probably a hope of yours that, you know what, I just want to be able to move past it. So the more I see this, I feel like it's you that actually just wants to put it behind you, and maybe the other person isn't ready to yet. But yeah, that's what I see there. And then for others of you, could just be saying that, you know, just hoping to be able to enjoy yourself a little bit in general, right? Maybe get out in nature, just disconnect and think about something else for the time being. And at the bottom of the deck too, we have the Ace of Wands. So this is another indicator that someone wants a fresh start, most likely you. But, you know, the key with the Ace energies is always there's that hand coming out of the cloud, which represents it's more in the idea stage versus someone actually taking the action. So I feel like even if this is where you're at, you haven't quite taken that action just yet. And in the outcome position, we have Temperance and the Six of Pentacles. So if this coming in the outcome position, I feel like this is saying that eventually the balance will be restored with you and this person, or if it was a financial thing, which is obviously possible given we see the Pentacles, it looks like there would be some balance restored there too. So like I said, for those of you, maybe if you're in a court case of some kind, it looks like it will turn out in your favor, or at the very least in a win-win situation for both parties, since we see the scales there, just like with the Justice card. And then this Temperance card, which is technically Sagittarius energy, also represents balance. And this represents for you guys, Sagittarius is your house of career and social status. So that's what I'm saying. If it's around finances, it looks like it'll turn out in a positive way. But also if we think of social status, you know, single versus in a relationship, for example, things might work out well in that regard too. And I feel like what this is saying, you know, we see the angel symbolism twice here, and then also with the star being in reverse, I feel like this is just saying that even if you're feeling like you're losing hope in the situation, this could just be telling you that, hey, you know, just even if you don't want to be the one to directly engage the situation, it looks like there might be some things going on behind the scenes to actually restore balance in the situation. So overall, pretty positive outcome there, right? Okay, so we'll move on to the oracle cards next. First we have Round and Round. There's the artwork for it, and the number is 25. So let's see what that says. Okay, it says the spiral quality of events when a lesson isn't quite integrated, cycles you are challenged to break, revisiting a pattern from a new perspective. So yeah, revisiting a pattern from a new perspective definitely makes me think of the Judgment card at the very least, but we'll see what else it says. The Oracle's message says the appearance of this card is a reminder that although it may appear that you've gone backward, the truth is that you are standing at a higher level, looking down into your circumstances. You will learn something, do something better, and break a cycle set up in the past. You actually have a bird's eye view of your initial footprints and can access the wisdom and lessons learned. So definitely an interesting message there. And when I was reading the part about a cycle, right, that made me think of this Five of Swords energy. So it could even be one of those things where maybe you guys do have one last type of argument like this, right? But maybe after that one, for whatever reason, you actually come to a realization of what the cycle was about and actually were able to learn from it and move forward from it. So hopefully that resonated. The relationship message says, are you wondering, how did I get here again? Does something feel familiar right now in your dynamics with others? Maybe a little too familiar? Don't be surprised that you found yourself repeating an old story with the same sort of person who may not look similar, but who attracted you because of your easy acquaintance with his or her qualities. Your relationship is a mix of what is good and what is potentially challenging. You have been drawn to this person through the perfection of Spirit's plan for your evolution. You may have circled back to an accustomed spot, a familiar place, but that's fine, as you get to do things again, only differently this time, for you learned something of great value since the last time around. How will you choose to behave now that you're aware? Remain curious and stay out of the blame game. So definitely a pretty cool message there, and then that could definitely point to what I was saying with the Judgment card, and then we see the Temperance and the Six of Pentacles at the end as well, so I feel like if anything, this is another reminder with that Star card in reverse. If you guys are losing faith in the situation or feel like you haven't learned something, looks like it's saying to just remain positive there. Okay, the prosperity message says if you're in a scenario that appears to be an echo of something that's already happened in the past in your work life, it's because you're being invited to see what you couldn't see before. This is a perfect time for you to look at the deeper motives you have and your attraction to the opportunities and people who have entered your life to be part of your journey to prosperity. Who helps you navigate? Who sabotages you? Who supports you? What are the familiar signs and your responses to them when you find yourself in a repeat of a pattern of the past? It's a good time to get a coach or a mentor who can help you see what you can't on your own. Repeat what works, not what doesn't. Then you will free yourself from the old cycles and cease going round and round. So that was an interesting message there too. So be mindful of that as well, as far as in the workplace type of environment. With this being an environment, it could just be saying to watch out for that, right? Where maybe there is someone in your circle who may be sabotaging things for you in some way. So be on the lookout for that as well. But hopefully that resonated. And the next card we have is Peacock Spirit. It says, let it shine. There's the artwork, and the number is 46. Okay, it says, when is the last time you shook a tail feather and shined your light for all to see? Within each of us is a peacock spirit, yearning for expression, and you are called now to show the world the gorgeous creature you are, for you are a manifestation of spirit. Come out from the shadows, Peacock Spirit says, and show your true colors so that others may be inspired to express their own exquisiteness. Dance as if you remember that you are made of stardust and grace, filled with life force energy and sparkling light. You are a channel for divine love, and your dance, is one of a kind. Catch the light and help it to shimmer, and dance in celebration of your good fortune of being right here, right now. Spirit wants you to be joyful so that others may get up and dance along with you. So definitely an interesting message there. And then again, like I said, I feel like that repeats the theme of what I was saying, where you guys just might be losing hope around the situation. But it looks like things definitely will turn around for you. You know, this is going to be the month where you guys have your full moon, so that is a good time to usually, just shed some things that might have been holding you back in some way. And like I said, that full moon is going to be pretty early on in the month too. And then the new moon in your opposite sign is actually going to have some real supportive energies for something long standing too. So if you're looking to build on something, that would be a pretty good time to do so. All right. And finally, we have a mudra card for your sign. So the mudra that you guys got for this month is the Kubera Mudra. There it is there. And the keyword for it is abundance. All right, there's the info on it there if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it says. But under benefits, it says clears the frontal sinuses and helps to balance left and right nostrils, improves sense of smell, sharpens inner vision and ability to more clearly see your path in life, helps create abundance, especially related to virtuous desires that take into consideration the welfare of all beings. So if that sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you guys, I will put the name of the mudra in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.